San Perlita Lady Trojans versus the Heinous Cowgirls. Lineups for the visiting team. From the Heinous, number 2, Cammie Johnson. Number 13, Ryan Majors. Number 12, Jessa Frosch. Number 27, Peyton Beard. Number 11, Julianne Bussey. Number 6, Joni Wilson. Number 9, Maggie Roth. Number 7, Jaylee Bussey. Number 10, Cooper Zachary. And number 3, Amelia Hitzfelder. We also have number 5, Sage Everett. Manager, Ray Lee Slaughter. Lineups for the home team. Number 10, Heaven Gutierrez. Number 6, Daniela Ricon. Number 13, Evelyn Vargas. Number 8, Riley Mito. Number 24, Crystal Rodriguez. And number 18, Elizabeth Maldonado. Number 3, Jasmine Moreno. Number 15, Jennifer Cerato. And number 7, Ley Contreras. Coached by Coach Gomez and Coach Kirioga. At this time, will everyone please remove all hats and headwear so we may do the singing of the national anthem.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's by-district playoff game between the San Perlita Lady Trojans and your Heinous Cowgirls, live here on the Heinous Athletics on Facebook and also on YouTube this evening. Once again, lots of good things going on in the Heinous Independent School District. I'd like to congratulate Cammie Johnson for qualifying for the state track meet, where she will participate in both the triple jump and the 200-meter dash. Also like to recognize the varsity boys doubles team of Ruger Cody, Wyatt Rohde for their first place finish at the district tennis competition, along with Abby Arnett, who secured second place overall. The D'Hanis FCCLA team recently competed in D'Hanis, achieving remarkable success with 7 out of 8 teams finishing the top 5 of their categories. 4 of the FCCLA teams earned top 2 finishes, qualifying them for the National FCCLA Leadership Conference in Orlando, Florida. Also like to congratulate the boys and the girls golf team, as they're all headed to state, with the boys competing on May 5th and 6th featuring Ruger Cody, Brent Frosch, Bino Gonzalez, Kate Hendry, and Wyatt Rohde. While the girls include Abby Arnett, Kylie Hohan, Addie Moots, Sage Knowlton, and Sage Vogues. And the girls will compete April 28th and 29th. And lastly, I'd like to wish the best of luck to our UIL Academic Regional Qualifiers who will be competing Friday in Brenham, Texas, including the county team of Daniel Martinez, Amelia Hitzfelder, Jack Barlow, and Xavier Gonzalez, as well as Sage Knowlton in the headline riding, and the spelling team comprising of Wyatt Schlort, Hannah Ginther, Joni Wilson, Sage Knowlton, and Jackson Cross. And once again, lots of good things going on. The Hennis ISD. Well, we're here live tonight for by-district softball action. San Perlita Lady Trojans versus your De Hennis Cowgirls.
Leading off.
And leading off for the Cowgirls, second baseman, number 2, Cammie Johnson. And getting a start in the circle for the Lady Trojans is Krista Rodriguez. First pitch to Johnson is in there for strike 1. So no balls and 1 strike on Johnson. Once again, Krista Rodriguez getting a start for the Lady Trojans in the circle. And Johnson lays down a bunt, fielded by Rodriguez, fires it over to first. Not in time, as Johnson's going to be safe. And up next is the first baseman, number 13, Ryan Majors. And Majors will take her base, and runners now on first and second for the Cowgirls. And now coming up to the plate, the senior, number 12, the center fielder, Jessa Frosch. Johnson on second, Majors on first.
Next up, number 12, Jessa Frosch.
First pitch is outside for ball 1. Ball gets by the catcher. Johnson and Majors will advance to second and third. So Johnson now on third, Majors on second. Outside for ball 2. Outside for ball 3. So 3 balls and no strikes in Frosch. The pitch from Rodriguez. Outside for ball 4. So Frosch will load up the bases for the Cowgirls. And now coming up to the plate is the pitcher, number 27, Peyton Beard. And Beard sends a shot up the middle. Underneath the glove, the shortstop, Johnson will come to score. Majors making her way to score, and the Cowgirls up 2-0 here early in the top of the first.
That's going to bring up number 11, Julianne Bussey.
And up next is number 11, Julianne Bussey, with Frosch on third, Beard on first. And now on first base, courtesy running is number 5, Sage Everett for Beard. First pitch is in the dirt, gets by the catcher. Play at the plate. Frosch is going to be safe underneath the tag. And Everett will advance to third. Second pitch, swing and a miss for strike one. High and inside for ball two. So 2 balls and 1 strike on Bussy. In there for strike two. So 2-2 the count on Bussy with Everett on third. Full count. The pitch, swing and a miss for out number one.
Next up to the plate, number 6.
And up next is designated hitter number 6, Joni Wilson. And she sends a shot to left field over the left fielder's head. And Everett will come in and score as Wilson will get held up at second. So an RBI double for Joni Wilson.
Number 9.
And up next is the shortstop, number 9, Maggie Rohde. And Rohde swings and fouls it back into the net. So no balls and 1 strike on Rohde. Pitch is just a bit high for ball 1, so 1-1 to count. High for ball 2, so 2 balls and 1 strike on Rohde. Just missed inside for ball 3, so 3 balls and 1 strike on Rohde. Inside for ball 4, so Rohde will draw the walk and make her way towards first.
Next up, number 7, Jaylee Bussy.
And up next is number 7, Jaylee Bussy. And Bussy sends a shot deep to left field, off the wall. And Wilson being sent in. And Wilson will come in and score off the RBI single by Jaylee Bussy. And up next is the left fielder, number 10, Cooper Zachary.
Up next, number 10, Cooper Zachary.
First pitch is high for ball 1. Zachary showing bunt. Pulls back in there for strike 1, so 1-1 to count on Zachary. And Zachary pops it up, and it's going to drop in between left, right, and center. Maggie Rohde, who comes in and scores. And Bussy standing on third with Zachary on second. And now we're back to the top of the lineup with the second baseman, number 2, Cammie Johnson. Swing and a miss for strike 1. So 1 strike on Johnson. Bussy on third. Zachary on second. inside for ball 1. 1-1 to count. Fouled back into the net, brings the count to 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes on Johnson with runners on second and third. The pitch, swing and miss. Ball's missed by the catcher. Johnson's going to advance to first, and she's going to be safe. It's going to load up the bases for the Cowgirls.
Number 13 up to the plate.
And up next is the first baseman, number 13, Ryan Majors. With the bases loaded, Bussey, Zachary, and Johnson on the bases for the Cowgirls. Majors swings, pops it up to center field. It's going to drop. Bussey will come in and score. Zachary making her way in. And the Cowgirls add 2 more runs. And up next is the center fielder, number 12, Jessa Frosch.
Number 12, Jessa Frosch.
Got the outside corner for strike 1. So no balls and 1 strike on Frosch. Johnson on second. Majors on first. The pitch. Fouled back, brings the count to no balls and 2 strikes on Frosch. And Johnson will advance to third, and the steal by Majors to second. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Frosch. 2-2 the count. Frost sends a shot to center field. Johnson will come and score. Majors making her way in. And the Cowgirls now lead 10-0 here in the top of the first. And up next is the pitcher, number 27, Peyton Beard. First pitch gets by the catcher. Frosch will make her way to second. So 1 ball, no strikes on Beard. Pitch is high and outside for ball 2. So 2 balls and no strikes on Beard. High for ball 3. So 3 balls and no strikes on Beard with Frosch on second. High for ball 4, so Beard will draw the walk. And the Cowgirls with the runners now on first and second. And up next is number 11, Julianne Bussey.
Julianne Bussey up to the plate. We have a pinch runner, number 5, Sage Everett.
And now coming in to run at first base for Beard is number 5, Sage Everett. First pitch is outside for ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes on Bussey. Inside and low for ball 2. So 2 balls and no strikes on the batter. Pitch is high for ball 3. So 3 balls and no strikes on Julianne Bussey. Frosch on second. Everett on first. Pitch is in there for strike one. Bussy swings and fouls it down the first base line. Makes the count full.
Foul ball.
3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out here in the top of the first. Cowgirls in control here early, 10-0, with Frosch on second, Everett on first. Bussy swings, pops it up, and the catcher drops the ball. So Bussy will head back, and the count remain full on Julianne
Foul
Bussy.
ball. We still have a full count at the plate.
Pitch is in there for strike 3 and out number 2.
2 outs in the inning.
And Frosch will steal third.
Brings up number
And
6.
up next is designated
Joni
player
Wilson.
number 6, Joni Wilson. First pitch is inside, and Everett will steal second. 1 ball, no strikes on Wilson. Wilson sends a shot, fielded by the shortstop, fires it over to first. And they're going to say they got her out in time.
And that's the end of the top of the inning.
And the Cowgirls add 10
Third
runs
score.
in the top of the first.
Cowgirls,
We're going to silence the sound until the music stops playing. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Getting the start in the circle for your Cowgirls is number 27, Peyton Beard. Behind the plate, Julianne Bussy. At third base, Jaylee Bussy. Shortstop, Maggie Rohde. Second base, Cami Johnson. First base, Ryan Majors. And in the outfield from left to right, Cooper Zachary, Jessa Frosch, and Emilia Hitzfelder. And leading the inning off for the Lady Trojans is number 10, Heaven Gutierrez. First pitch from Beard is low and inside for ball 1. Pitch is high for ball 2. In there for strike 1. So 2 balls and 1 strike on Gutierrez. Swing and miss for strike 2. So 2-2 the count. Ball's fouled. Count remains 2-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3 and out number 1.
Out number 1.
And up next is number 6, Daniela Rincon. Rincon swings and fouls it into the net. So no balls and 1 strike on the batter. Swing and a miss for strike 2. So no balls and 2 strikes on Rincon. Swing and a miss for strike 3 and out number 2.
2 outs.
And up next is number 13, Evelyn Vargas.
Evelyn Vargas.
First pitch is in there for strike 1. No balls and 1 strike on Vargas. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. 3 up, 3 down as we head to the top of the second. Cowgirls lead 10-0. You're watching the Hennis Cowgirls softball. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Leading off for the Cowgirls is the shortstop, number 9, Maggie Rohde.
Maggie Roth up at the plate.
Rohde swinging a miss for strike 1, so 1-1 the count on Rohde. With number 24, Krista Rodriguez in the circle. Got the outside corner for strike 2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes on Rhodey. Caught the inside corner for strike 3 and out number 1.
Out number 1 for San Perlita. Up next.
And up next is the third baseman, number 7, Jaylee Bussey. First pitch to Bussey is inside for ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes on the batter. Pitch is outside for ball 2. 2-0 the count. Bussey swings and chops it foul down the third baseline. So 2 balls and 1 strike on Bussey. Swing and a miss for strike 2, so 2-2 the count. Bussey hits it deep to left field. And it is a solo home run for Jaylee Bussey over the left field wall. So that is the first home run of the year for Jaylee Bussey. Once again, a solo home run by Jaylee Bussey over the left field wall. And the Cowgirls now lead 11-0. And up next is the left fielder, number 10, Cooper Zachary.
Number 10, Cooper Zachary.
First pitch is high for ball 1. Inside for ball 2, so 2 balls and no strikes on Zachary. In there for strike 1, so 2 balls and 1 strike on Zachary. Pitch is high for ball 3, so 3 balls and 1 strike on the batter. Zachary swings and pops it up, and the catch is made by the catcher.
Out number 2 in the top of the second inning.
For out number 2.
Brings up number 2, Cammie Johnson.
Now we're back to the top of the lineup with the second baseman, number 2, Cammie Johnson. Ball gets by the catcher. So 1 ball, no strikes on Johnson. Bunt attempt by Johnson misses, so 1-1 to count. Inside for ball 2. Johnson lays down the bunt down the third base line, and Johnson will be safe at first. And up next is the first baseman, number 13, Ryan
Number
Majors.
13, Ryan Majors.
Inside, ball gets by the catcher. Johnson will advance to third. Second on the pass ball. So 1 ball, no strikes on Majors. Cammy Johnson on second. The pitch from Rodriguez. High for ball 2. Majors chops it down the first base line, and they're going to field it foul. In foul territory, so it's going to be a foul ball. So 2 balls and 1 strike on Majors. And Johnson will make her way back to second. Johnson steals third. So 3 balls and 1 strike. And Majors will draw the walk. And Cowgirls with runners on the corners on first and third. And up next is the center fielder, number 12, Jessa Frosch. Pitches high and inside, and Majors will steal second. Outside for ball 2. So 2 balls and no strikes. With Johnson on third, Majors on second. Ball's in the dirt, gets by the catcher, and Johnson will come in and score. And Majors will advance to third. And 3 balls and no strikes on Frosch. Ball 4.
Up next,
and up next is the pitcher, number 27, Peyton Beard. First pitch is in there for strike 1. And Frosch steals second. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Beard swings and fouls it back into the net. So no balls and 2 strikes. The pitch, Beard swings, balls hit to left field, over the head of the left fielder, so Majors will come in and score, Frosch will come in and score, Beard making her way towards third. And Beard coming in home, and it's going to be a 3-run inside the park home run for Peyton Beard.
Up to the plate next, number 11.
And up next is number 11, Julianne Bussey. Bussey swings and pops it up to the second baseman. Dropped by the second baseman, Bussey making her way towards second. And up next is the designated player, Actually, we're going to have a pinch hitter now. It's going to be the right fielder, number 3, Emilia Hitzfelder.
Up to bat, number 3, Amelia Hitzfelder.
So Bussy on second, and now at the plate, the right fielder, number 3, Emilia Hitzfelder. First pitch is inside for ball 1. Inside for ball 2, so 2 balls and no strikes on the batter. Hitzfelder fouls it off her foot. Brings the count to 2 balls and 1 strike on Hitzfelder. Fielder swings and fouls it back into the net. So deuces across the board, 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs here in the top of the second. Cowgirls have added 5 runs here and now lead 15-0. With Bussy on second, Hitzfelder at the plate. A pitch. Hitzfelder fouls it into the Lady Trojan dugout. Count remains 2-2. Fouled back into the net. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Hitzfelder. Fouled into the Lady Trojan dugout once again as Hitzfelder continues the battle. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Inside for ball 3, full count. Fouled into the Trojan dugout once again. Full count on Hitzfelder. Hitzfelder swings and fouls that one out of play. Full count. Ball 4, so Hitzfelder will draw the walk and make her way towards first. Cowgirls with runners on first and second. And up next is the shortstop, number 9, Maggie Rohde. First pitch to Rohde. In there for strike 1. Rohde with a shot down the left field line. Bussy making her way in. Hitzfelder being sent in. Rohde heading to third. It's going to be a triple. And now Rohde's going to try to extend it out, and she's going to score. And up next is number 7, Jaylee Bussy, who led the inning off with the solo home run over the left field wall. Swing and a miss for strike one. Bussy hits it, fielded by the third baseman, bobbled by the third baseman, and Bussy's going to be safe at first. And up next is the left fielder, number 10, Cooper Zachary. And they're going to say that Bussy stepped off the bag. They're going to call her out. So it's going to be third out. So head to the bottom of the second. Cowgirls lead 18-0. You're watching the Hennis Cowgirls softball. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Leading the inning off for the Trojans is number 8, Riley Nieto, with Peyton Beard in the circle. Julianne Bussy behind the plate. Jaylee Bussy at third base. Maggie Rhodey at shortstop. Cammie Johnson on second. Ryan Majors at first. Outfield from left to right. Cooper Zachary, Jessa Frosch, and Amelia Hitzfelder. First pitch is high for ball one. 1 ball, no strikes on Nieto. Neto with a nice hard shot down the first base side, foul. Count is now 1-1. Neto pops it up in the infield, and the wind's going to blow it. So it's going to bring the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes on Nieto. Shot to center field by Nieto. Fielded by Frosch. She's going to fire it in to Rhodey. So it's going to be a single for Nieto.
Number 24.
And up next is the pitcher, number 24, Krista Rodriguez. First pitch, and Rodriguez will get hit by the pitch. So runners now in first and second for the Trojans. And up next is number 18, Elizabeth Maldonado.
We have number 18, Elizabeth Maldonado.
Swing and a miss for strike one. No balls and 1 strike on Maldonado. Neto and Rodriguez on the bases. Got the inside corner for strike 2. High and outside for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the batter. The pitch from Beard. Swing and a miss for strike 3 and out number 1. And up next is number 3, Jasmine Moreno.
Next up, number 3, Jasmine Moreno.
First pitch is in there for strike 1. Swing and a miss for strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes on Moreno. In there for strike 3 and out number 2. And up next is number 15, Jennifer Cerato.
Number 15, Jennifer Cerato up to the plate.
Swing and a miss for strike 1. No balls and 1 strike on the batter with runners on first and second. Ball is just a bit low for ball 1, so 1-1 to count. Ball gets by the catcher. Runners are advancing to second and third on the pass ball. The pitch from Beard. Fouled down the right field line, out of play. Deuces across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Jennifer Cerato at the plate. Neto on third. Rodriguez on second. The 2-2 pitch. Just missed inside for ball 3, full count. In there for strike 3 as we head to the top of the third. Cowgirls lead 18-0. You're watching the Hennis Cowgirls softball. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Leading the inning off for the Cowgirls is the left fielder number 10, Cooper Zachary, with number 24, Krista Rodriguez in the circle for the Lady Trojans.
Number 10, Cooper Zachary.
Zachary hits it to second base, dropped by the second baseman. And Zachary's going to be safe at first. Now we're back to the top of the lineup with the second baseman, number 2, Cammie Johnson.
Number 2, Cammie Johnson.
First pitch is high and outside for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes on Johnson. Zachary on first. Johnson swings and pops it up. And the shortstop calls everyone off. And the catch is made by the shortstop, and she's going to turn it a double play. And Zachary is called out at first.
Up next to the plate, number 13,
And up next
Majors.
is the first baseman, number 13, Ryan Majors. First pitch is high and inside for ball 1. Outside for ball 2, so 2 balls and no strikes on Majors. Outside for ball 3. Outside for ball 4. And up next is center fielder number 12, Jessa Frosch.
Jessa Frosch.
First pitch is high for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes on Frosch. Majors on first. Ball gets by the catcher. And Majors will make her way towards second. So 2 balls and no strikes on Frosch. High for ball 3. 3-0 the count. Got the outside corner for strike 1. So 3 balls and 1 strike on Frosch. Ball's in the dirt. And Majors will advance to third on the pass ball. And Frosch to first. And up next is the pitcher, number 27, Peyton Beard. First pitch gets by the catcher. Frosch will advance to second on the pass ball. Ball's hit. Goes underneath the second baseman. Majors will come in and score. Frosch making her way in. And Beard is on first base. And up next is number 11, Julianne Bussey. And Sage Everett will check in a courtesy run on first base.
Number 5, Sage Everett.
First pitch is low for ball 1. So 1-1 the count on Bussey. Bussey chops it foul down the third base line. So 1 ball, 2 strikes on Bussey. Pitch is high for ball 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes on Julianne Bussey. Bussey hits it. And a beautiful catch by the second baseman, Heaven Gutierrez, for out number 3. As the Cowgirls add 2 more runs and now lead 20-0.
And that's the end of the top of
You're
the
watching the
third.
Hennis Cowgirls softball. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Leading the inning off for the Lady Trojans is number 7, Lee Contreras. Remaining in the circle for the Cowgirls, Peyton Beard.
Up to the plate, number 7, Leah Contreras.
First pitch to Contreras is low for ball 1. High for ball 2, so 2 balls and no strikes on the batter. In there for strike 1, so 2 balls and 1 strike on the batter. Swing and a miss for strike 2. 2-2 the count. Swing and a miss for strike 3 and out number 1. And up next, we're back to the top of the lineup with number 10, Heaven Gutierrez.
Up number 10, Heaven Gutierrez.
First pitch is low for ball 1. So 1-1 to count on the batter. Ball's hit. Fielded by Johnson. She's going to toss it to Majors for out number 2. And up next is number 6, Daniela Rincon.
Number 6 up to the plate, Daniela Rincon.
First pitch, Rincon swings and fouls it out of play. Ball's in the dirt, so 1-1 to count. Ball's in the dirt for ball 2, so 2 balls and 1 strike on Rincon. Fouled back. 2-2 the count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd. The pitch, swing and a miss for strike 3. And that is the ball game. So congratulations to the Hennis Cowgirls as they're advancing to area to face the Rungy Yellow Jackets. Cowgirls win over San Perlita 20-0. So till next time, good night and God bless.